Hey guys, I wanted to give you a close-up of how to do your card. So first, let me show you the setup. This is the deck of cards that you'll use. Any deck of cards, you can use any deck of cards. I would say use a red back deck of cards. And the reason I'd say a red back is because what you're going to do is you're going to take this deck of cards and right here on the front or on the back of each card, you're going to write a name. So think of 52 different names, or 54 if you have the jokers in there. Think of 54 different names and just go through it and write a name on each one. Now, as I say this, there's a key point. The key point is you're going to pick a name that you're going to choose as a forced name. And I'll explain why in a second. So my forced name is Jack. I use Jack for two reasons. I use Jack because it's easy to remember. I also use Jack because when I say this name, the spectator thinks that I'm saying that their card is a Jack, but I'm not. I'm naming their card Jack. So just to go back, when I do the routine, I say, think of any card. Okay, do you got it in your mind? Okay, I'm going to name your card. Wait a minute, give me a second. Jack. Now, they may say, no. You say, well, sure it is. Watch. Let me show you what I mean. You're going to pull this deck out of the box, and then you're going to show them. You say, you could have chose any card in here. You have a card in your mind, and I just named your card. Name of your card is Jack. Now, mind you, when you pull this deck out of the box, they're just going to see the face of the deck. Now, you're going to flip it over. You're going to say, listen, on the back of each one of these cards, there's names. On the front, we have all different types of cards. And on the back, we have names. What was the name of your card again? They're going to tell you the name of their card. You're going to go through it, pick out a card, pick their card out, and you're just going to sit it right on top of the deck. So you go through, pick out their card, sit it on top of the deck while it's face up, and then the magic is done. So let me explain exactly how this works. So your card is actually set up with names on the backs of the cards, and your name, the name that you choose out of all these cards, on the front of that card, you're going to put double-sided tape in the four corners. So right here I have double-sided tape, this corner, this corner, this corner, and this corner here. So you'll put the double-sided tape in all four of the corners, and you're going to leave that card. You're going to take the deck, turn it face up, and you're going to leave your force card right there on the top of the deck while it's facing face up. Now that you have the setup of the deck, let me explain the setup of the box. I'll set this to the side. This is the setup of the box. So what you do is you take a box, and the reason you set this up is because you have double-sided tape in the four corners of the top card. So what may happen is when you place the deck inside the box, it's going to stick to the box. It'll be hard to get the deck out, or the card will stick inside. So you're going to take a box and cut out where the four pips are on the card, or where you place the four pieces of double-sided tape. Right? Then you're going to take another box and you're going to cut off that top. And now you can use double-sided tape here in the middle. You can use a spray adhesive. I had some spray adhesive sitting around, so I just used that. And then you can just stick it right on top. And be careful. I mean, if you use double-sided tape, I would recommend that more than a spray adhesive. If you use a spray adhesive and you spray too much, or it gets on your fingers while you're pressing down, and then you get spray adhesive on the inside of the box, that stuff is pretty sticky. So you want to be very careful. Now, at a glance, this looks like a normal box. Nobody's the wiser. Nobody looks at it any type of way. And in fact, I use the back of an older box to kind of give it so the box doesn't look so spanking brand new. It looks kind of used, it looks kind of worn, and it also helps with presentation for me because this is an effect that I do all the time, and I explain it that way. when I'm doing it. But now that you have those 4 cuts underneath this flap that we've placed here, you can actually take the deck, place it right inside. And here's the key. When you're closing the box, don't place the flap right in front of that card with the double-sided tape. Pull a couple cards forward and then close the box. So therefore you have a couple of cards, you have the box, a couple of cards, then the flap, and then it's closed. And now you're ready to go. So as we explained the presentation, as you saw the presentation, it would go like this. You would hand somebody this deck just like this and have them hold it. And you say, you know, this is a very old effect that I've been doing for a long time. And let me find out if you and I are connected in some type of way. I think I got the right guy, or I think I got the right woman, whoever you're using. So you hand them the deck, say, I want you to think of a card. Out of all the cards, I want you to think of one card, and I want you to keep it in your mind. Now in a moment, I'm going to name your card. I know it seems unbelievable, but I'm going to name it. Hold on, give me a second. Jack. And they go, no. And you go, well, sure it is. Well, let me show you. Let me explain. You pull out this deck face up. Now, granted, maybe you can see the double-sided tape, but they will not be able to see the double-sided tape. And by the way, just a tip, I placed double-sided tape on here that was older, like I've used it before. And the reason I did that, so it could be a little bit more, it's a little bit more dingy, it's been used, been taken off, placed back on. I did that on purpose so that you guys can see it a little bit clearer on the camera. It kind of stands out. But when you use a fresh piece of double-sided tape, nobody pays attention to it. So you'll take this out of the deck, and and when you take it out, just take it right out. Don't be careful. Don't draw attention to it. Take it right out, and you say, look, you had a whole bunch of different cards that you could have chose out of to pick, all right? But you still have a card in your mind, right? Okay. And remember, I named your card Jack. By the way, what was your card? So they'll tell you your card. Say, it's okay. You can tell me the card. They'll tell you the card. So let's say they pick the Ace of Clubs. What happens is, because you have that double-sided tape card sitting right on top, you go through, you find their card, you sit it right on top of that card with double-sided tape. You square it up, and then you grab it with both hands like this and just give it a little press in the 4 corners so the tape gets a chance to seal it correctly, and then that's it. And then you explain to them, say, by the way, on the back of each one of these cards, there's a name. There's a name. There's a name. And what do we name your card? Oh, Jack. That's right, Jack. So you say, let's see, Betty, Janice, Danny, Steve, Jeremy, Cameron, Zach, Lloyd, Abby, Megan, Chad, see, Bobby, Kelly, Tyler, Diamond, Tracy, Mark, Roger, Julie, Tom, Donald, Stacy, Daisy, Megan, Chris, Sarah, Dante, Doug, Jake, John, Sarah, Rob, Nick, Bob, Troy. Oh, there it is. Jack. And what was the card you were thinking of? So they're going to tell you the card that they were thinking of. And when they tell you the card is the Ace of Clubs, all you do is flip this around and boom. That is it. The Ace of Clubs with Jack on it. You just blown them away at that point. They're going, what just happened? And that is the setup and the close-up presentation of your card. So I hope you guys enjoy.